You have so many questions about Bitcoin. You want answers. You want answers. You just want answers. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching my videos. I'm here joined with Maurizio. Maurizio, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I love it. I love our collaborations.
Yes, it's lots of fun, right? Mr. M has his own channel. He does podcasts every day, or he tries to do every day at least. And if you head over to Mr. M's podcast, the links will be in the description below. You definitely will not be disappointed. Today, we're going to be answering some of the questions that are commonly asked about Bitcoin. I know you can go and read this at frequently asked questions on the bitcoin.org website, but we're going to answer these questions, right, on our own. Why don't you bring that website up real quickly? Basically, it's a very curated answer for all the questions, but I think I'm going to answer these same questions personally from me, and I want you to answer them as well, Maurizio. So let's answer these questions together. So the top question is, of course, what is Bitcoin, right? And so they have like a really complicated answer for that, right? They're like, Bitcoin is a consensus network that enables a payment system and a complete digital money.
Yeah, centralized, peer-to-peer. Oh, it's too complicated.
Exactly. Bitcoin is money, right? That's all you need to know, right? That's the short answer. It's money. You're like, no, it's not. No, it's not. You can't buy groceries with it. I need to calm down.
What's up?
Right. All right. So the money that you use to buy groceries with, right? It's a degrading asset, meaning that you can't save long term in it, right? Yeah, you can probably buy stuff with it directly. But when you try to save your wealth, you'll notice that in the future, you won't be able to buy the same kind of things. So, for example, if you saved money like $2 in 1980, you could buy with $2 a whole pizza. Today, you cannot. Right? You see the difference there?
Yeah.
So, with Bitcoin, if you save it in the future, distant future, you will have wealth that will be preserved. You'll not only be able to buy the same pizza with the same amount of Bitcoins, but also more. See the difference? It's a big difference. A lot better money than the one you're using. Okay? That's what it is. Bitcoin is the better money.
Yeah, I agree. In fact, I have two comments. One, there was someone who bought some pizzas with Bitcoin. We have the Pizza Bitcoin Day. And exactly like you said, the more the time goes forward, the more pizzas you can buy with Bitcoin, whether fiat is the opposite. So you already have the answer right there. And by the way, I love the fact that you said Bitcoin is money. That would have been also my answer, but I will also say Bitcoin is freedom, because with Bitcoin, you are free from all the third party, from all the people that have your assets. It's you, and you have the power, the freedom to do whatever you want with an asset who appreciates in value. I don't know if you've seen on Twitter, fantastic thing I found the other day with this thing who basically there is someone who works in McDonald's and he or she, I don't know the person name, and basically they are saying, we have those coins in McDonald's, and usually what happens is when people make an order and we mess up the order, we give those tokens to the customers so they can come back and redeem a Big Mac, right? So the token is backed by a Big Mac, McDonald's Big Mac. And this person says, I'm not an expert in finance per se, but I can tell that ever since we took away the gold from the money, so there is no gold standard anymore, nothing is backing the USD dollars as we speak. Does this mean that the coins we have in this place are more valuable than our current finance system? And the answer is yes, I think,
yes.
because there is something backing it, right? Hilarious. I thought it was hilarious. It's gone viral. I'll send you the tweet later. It has gone viral. Yes. It's super, super fun.
Oh, yeah. So there it is. So you're right. Now, your next question is like, who created this Bitcoin? I mean, he's probably got a whole bunch of them. He's going to flood the market and crash it. And then he's just super rich. I'm down.
What's up? Yeah.
All right. Satoshi, remained anonymous. We don't know that's his real name, right? Satoshi Nakamoto. That was actually just a name that he used. And it doesn't matter who he is, right? He could be the worst person you could possibly think of. It doesn't matter. Why? It's because it's mathematics, right? Isaac Newton was not the best person on the planet, right? But he came up with the mathematical algorithms that exist today. It doesn't matter who he is, right? Does the math work? Is 1+1 = 2? Yes, it does. So that's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
So it's irrelevant who this guy is. Now, you're saying, well, I heard he left 1 million Bitcoins, right? He's got 1 million Bitcoins somewhere. Well, actually, as a software developer, one of the things I would have done is left a large sum of Bitcoin available to see if I made a mistake in any of the algorithm so that someone could try to take it. So I left it there as he would have left it. Like, I'm not Satoshi, by the way. I don't want to die.
Just to be clear.
He left it there, right? To see if you could take it, then he made a mistake. If you can't take it, then there you go. It's just a bounty to see if there's something wrong with the software. And also to see if the encryption's broken or the hash rate's broken. A lot of things have to break in order for you to take those cryptocurrencies. You can't just break the encryption protocol. You have to break the hashing algorithm as well. So there's two massive things that have to be broken, and the hashing algorithm is impossible to break. So there's no chance. Yeah, once again, I'm not Satoshi. The reason why, even if I was, I couldn't tell you if I was, because I had the same information that he did, right? The knowledge that he did, that if you take away the ability to print money from people that have that ability, right, they might be mad at you.
It's very likely. Yeah. Yeah.
So you're going to take away my ability to have free slaves? What? What? Yeah, they'll get mad. So yeah. So what do you think about that, right? The person who created Bitcoin, doesn't matter who he is.
It doesn't. And I don't think he was a person. I think he was a group. That's my opinion. I could be wrong here. I don't know. I think he was a group of people. They've done it. And this is my favorite part, which we don't know who they, she, he are. We don't know. And that's the most, amazing part, because if we knew who he or she or they were, then that's it. The game over. They could be targeted by anyone. They could be so many repercussions, but we don't know. So there is nothing. It's unstoppable. Also because we don't know who made it, right? So it's actually my favorite thing. And even if I was, of course I had no chance being Satoshi, but trying to think about what he would have, or she or they would have thought about this, they don't want to be found, like this thing is gone. That's it. It's been pushed into the ether and it's going to go on its own. So amazing. It's the whole thing is done to perfection, to be honest. And this is my favorite part, which we don't know. Fun fact is there is someone called Satoshi Nakamoto, which is in Japan, and the authority has gone and took him in court because they thought he was responsible for it. That's again another hilarious fact about this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So imagine if he was revealed himself; it'd be a disaster for him as well. So not just for the Bitcoin network, but also for him. So, anyways, what is the Bitcoin network, and who controls the Bitcoin network is the real question. And the answer is really simple. It's you do, and you're like, no, I don't.
What's up? Yeah.
You do. Okay. And the way it's designed is beautiful, because ever had like a large percentage of people agree on anything? No, right? On one particular course of action. In general, that doesn't happen, right? In general, like when you have like a very large group of people, there's always one or two people that disagree, right? And they want to change things. They think that it should be better this way or that way or whatever. And they, you know what? They might be right. They might be right. But with the Bitcoin network, the way it's designed is that it ensures that, you know what, the rules stay fixed forever. So you know what the rules are going to be out into the future. Now, someone could go, well, I don't like the rules, right? And I'm going to change the rules my own way. And you know what? You don't have to follow his rules. You can go, yeah, that's nice, but I'm going to stick with these ones. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And so the majority of people will be like, hey, whatever, buddy. And you're like, okay, has that ever happened before? Yes, it has happened several times before, where it's called Bitcoin forks, like Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV. Those are basically a group of people disagreeing with the way Bitcoin was designed, and they went their own way, but they still called it Bitcoin, but it's not Bitcoin that everybody else agrees with. Right? So it's basically two separate Bitcoins that have different sets of rules. Now, there's no Bitcoin company, so there's no way to somebody to sue and say, hey, cease and desist, naming it Bitcoin. That's okay. It doesn't really matter, right? You know the difference between Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, and Bitcoin Gold and Bitcoin blah, 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 right? Because there's a lot of them, right? And so you focus on the rules you want to participate in, and generally people stick with where the group is, and the groups with the fixed consensus of Bitcoin. And in the future, it doesn't matter if the group of people, like even 50% or even 75% decide, yeah, we don't like the rules of Bitcoin, and they start to go off into their own network, right? 75%, that 25% will still exist. And if the 75% realize, oh, we screwed up, boom, they'll come running back.
Yeah.
So effectively, you control what the Bitcoin network is.
Yeah, it's really well said. And my comment would have been exactly like you said, would have been, even if there are and have been forks, of course, as soon as the Bitcoin goes ahead and grows in value and everything, people will want to hop back on the train because they've realized that, okay, what I want is not necessarily what everybody wants. So if you're after a store of value, you have to go where the majority of people is, right? Otherwise, maybe you've done something, quote, better, but if nobody want to buy it, then it's worthless. You see what I mean? So yeah, exactly like you said, history shows us has happened before. There's been forks, or there's been people creating other tokens, Ethereum, Cardano, or whatever it is, the idea they want to do. But it's funny how, it doesn't matter how you skin it, everybody goes back to Bitcoin, right? So again, another reason why I love it so much. Cool, amazing.
So how does Bitcoin work? I want to answer that question with a complex explanation, but I'm not going to. Here's why. Do you know how money works? Your money works? No, you don't. You still use it, right? But I'm going to give you the simple explanation for Bitcoin. But first, I'm going to give you the simple explanation for your currency. Your money gets printed when someone goes into debt. That's it. Whether it's you, your corporation, or your government goes into debt, that's when money gets created. It also gets destroyed when you pay off the debt. That's how it works, right? And you're like, oh, okay, I guess that's what's needed. That's how it's supposed to be. No, because that's effectively a Ponzi scheme. You're like, what? Ponzi? I don't get it. How's that a Ponzi scheme? Well, if I say to you, there's no money on this planet, and I'm going to print you money that you're going to borrow from me, like $100 from me, because there's no money now, and I give it to you, right? And I say you owe me 110 next month, right? And you take that money, and you agree, oh yeah, I'll get you 110. If you use your brains and say, yo, Davinci, there's only $100 in the whole economy because there is no other money. Yeah, Jack. And the only way for money the way that you get more money is somebody has to borrow it from me on a constant basis. So this creates more and more borrowing from me which gets the interest because I created it free, right? Forever and ever. See how unfair and horrible that is? Now, with Bitcoin, the simple explanation is money. This is money that gets created by work and effort. That's it. Work and effort. And now either you can pay for that money, right, with your work of effort somewhere else, or create it yourself with work and effort. That's how Bitcoin gets created. And there's only a limited supply that can actually be created. Simple. See how simple that was? What do you think?
I love it. And that's why people say Bitcoin have to be mined, because you have to work for them, right? So if you want to get your reward, you have to put the effort in. And exactly like you said, I think we are going back to the basic, which is there is an asset which is valuable because there is a scarcity, like there is a limit, there is 21 million. That's it. No more, no less. So that's on its own, it's a fantastic thing. But if you think about history, and we spoke about the Bitcoin Standard, for example, as being a fantastic book to read, this is how everything started. When you find something valuable and you say, oh, I found something valuable, well, it has the value. So if you start breaking into pieces and make it less pure, it will lose the value towards time. So that's what we've done with the monetary system, tampering with silver, with gold, down to a point now, which is completely a joke. Like the dollars we print just like doesn't even worth the paper we're printing them on. So in fact, there are some countries where they're using the currencies to build objects and they sell the object as opposed to, which is made with fiat. Incredible. So that explains how inflation, exactly like you said, works. So yeah, fantastic explanation. I love it. You nailed it. I think it's great because it could be super complicated to explain the miners and, proof of work. No,
who cares?
Exactly.
Who cares? Right? Exactly. It's a mathematical algorithm that works. Right. And part of the structure of this mathematical algorithm is that you have to work to produce the money. Boom.
Exactly.
So there we go. All right. So the next question, right, is Bitcoin really used by people? No, dog. It's used by aliens.
Yeah.
Not people.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. I can't believe that this is actually frequently asked question. But okay. There are a large number of people that use Bitcoin. Right now, it's estimated at 2% of the population actually use Bitcoin. So what do you think about this question?
I think, like you said, it is indeed used by people. I mean, we are using it, right? So, not only people, but by many other, how can I say, humans, like government, institutions, businesses. So, who's not using Bitcoin? I guess. I mean, yeah, interesting one. Probably they were trying to understand if this technology has been adopted by people, but like you said, only 2%, right? So it's early, it's really early. But yes, people are using it indeed.
It started off with very little people at all. And remember I was being laughed at in the very beginning in 2011 when there was 0.001 people were using it, right? But still, people are still using it, right?
Indeed. Yeah. And it's growing for sure. Nice.
So the next question, right, is how does one acquire Bitcoins? Oh, so now you want to have some. Now you realize the value. Yeah, I thought so. Well, there's several ways to do it. Of course, you could, receive payments for goods and services. Like, for example, you sell your ability to do something on the internet for Bitcoin. Demand only Bitcoin, right? Or sell your any kind of thing that you have around your house for Bitcoin. Of course, you could always go to an exchange. Exchanges, you have to do some research and find out which exchange is best for you. I do have some exchanges that I currently use. The links are in the description below. And you can buy Bitcoin from those exchanges, right? You could also, work for Bitcoin, right? And demand your job pay you in Bitcoin, or mine Bitcoin, because mining is possible. You can go and buy mining equipment and mine Bitcoin. But I don't recommend that, because I've talked to many miners and they all tell me the same thing, right? That if you invest one Bitcoin into mining, you're not getting one Bitcoin out. So it's like saying, okay, I've got 1 ounce of gold. I want to pay a person to mine gold for me with that 1 ounce of gold. How much gold am I going to get? Oh, half an ounce. That would make no sense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're like, well, why, if that's true, why are people mining it, right? Because they're getting paid in dollars, right? And if you borrow money against your equipment, right, and your costs, you can lay out the costs for longer, right? You can pay out the costs over a longer period of time, but Bitcoin will raise in value over that next period of time. So, for example, in the next 2 years, Bitcoin will be worth a lot more than it is today. So, if you can borrow money to and collateralize it against your mining equipment, meaning that if anything happens, they can take the mining equipment and that's it. That's the end of your debt, right? Then you'll be able to pay off your debt with more dollars, and so you'll have more dollars, right, to pay off that debt and its interest, and then have dollars in spare. And so to spare, so that means you have more money. That's it, and you can buy Bitcoin with that, and that makes sense. But any other way, it doesn't make any sense. Yes, in the future, Bitcoin will mining has to be, its costs have to be higher than its than this production, but that's going to happen in the future.
Yeah, I agree. I think there was a time to mine which, for normal people, like without talking about businesses, let's say if you're a private person, entity, there was a time for doing that, which is not now. Now it's easier to buy and hodl, if anything, go on an exchange or getting paid with your work and just keep custody and store it. It would be much easier than going to a mining mission. And also, we are getting to a point where there has been a lot of Bitcoin already out there. So it's becoming easier. In the beginning, when probably you were involved in 2010, 2011, it was actually much easier to solve those problems, right? So you could have done it with a computer in your house, not much electricity. Boom, you could have gotten a lot of Bitcoins. But now that the network has grown so much and you have many players with literally farming Bitcoin companies, you won't stand a chance. So it's better to buy and hold it, I think.
Exactly. And because of our dollar system, the way it works, you can have a business that doesn't make money and still exist. You're like, huh? What? What's Netflix? What's Tesla? What's SpaceX? What's WeWork? That's all of them. They don't make any money, right? And there's so many more businesses that I didn't even name there that don't make zero profits. And on top of it, to make matters worse, they have no future projection of profits ever.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Exist. And that's only possible in our current financial system. Only possible. And if you're like, I don't get it, how does that work with this financial system? Yeah, you don't know a lot about our money. If you just say you just don't get it, you've got a lot to learn.
Exactly. But the good news is, check out Davinci's, check out your channel, Davinci, because you talk about these things every single day. So if you have a problem and you don't know, or an opportunity, you don't know the money, well, this is the place you want to be, because Davinci explains it a hell of a lot. So keep watching.
Yeah, exactly. So keep watching. Anyways, let's end it with one last question. Let's ask the last question there, and that's how difficult it is to make a Bitcoin payment. And honestly, for us, we it's simple. And you know what? Honestly, once you do it once, you'll go, this is not hard. That's it. At first, it'll seem hard, but then you do it once, and then you do it again. You're like, what? That's it?
Yeah.
Don't you agree?
I agree. And I have two things to add. One is going to become easier and easier and easier, right? So now you said earlier, 2% of the people are involved with the cryptocurrencies in general. Think about when 5%, 8%, 10%, it's going to become more natural and natural. I'm sure you remember if you were involved like me and Davinci, back in the days to connect to internet was really hard. You have to dial into a thing, wait, you couldn't use the phone at the same time. Now you don't even know you are connected with these phones, right? So same thing. Now it might be a little bit tricky. You have to get a wallet, remember your address, copy and paste it, double check whatever number and transaction. Could be a little bit tricky, even though it's super simple. Like you said, do it once. But think about how easy this is going to become when Apple, Google, Samsung, all these giants are going to integrate into your fingerprints or your Face ID. So yeah, even like you said, super easy. Do it once, easy, but it's going to become a no-brainer for sure.
Yeah, and so you're buying in on that. So when you buy Bitcoin today, you're buying in on that fact that's going to happen. You're betting on that fact, and that's an easy bet. That's an easy bet for you to make, yet it's also the hardest. Don't you agree?
I agree. Yeah, I agree 100%. For sure.
Why is it the hardest? You're going to be looking at the price. Going, oh my God, it's going to, oh my God, it's going to, oh my God.
What's that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys all for watching. I appreciate all you guys who watch these shows. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I know that this probably wasn't for everybody, but hopefully everyone did watch it because you'll get a new insight on things. Maybe you got some insight in the sense that, yeah, you understood what Bitcoin is. You understood all those questions, but you didn't know that all these corporations don't make money and never will. And it's only possible under our financial system. And if you took that away, that just one factor away, and you were like, Davinci, I need to do some research, man. I'm good. I'm glad because yeah, you do.
Exactly. Exactly. And I couldn't agree more. And even if by watching these, you just want to ask questions, that's how everything begins. Keep asking questions forever because that's how you learn things, right? So stay curious because in life, it's the most important thing to do, I guess.
True that. All right. Once again, thank you again for watching and hit the like, hit the subscribe, head over to Maurizio's channel. Also subscribe there and we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.
Cheers.